Cold water splashed in my face as 5-year-old me joyfully played in the pool located in my backyard. It was actually a relatively quiet day without a lot of fighting for once. It started at 9 a.m., me eating a bowl of some random sugary cereal I shouldn't have been eating, which led into watching cartoons in the living room. I remember it was quiet, but then it wasn't. A loud thump from upstairs followed by a shrill, fearful scream and my brother running up to see what's the matter. And that's where it goes black. The next thing I remember is the pool and the paramedics running throughout the house. A stretcher was holding my father and they loaded him up in the ambulance. They drove him to the hospital and he didn't come back. That day is a memory that will live in my mind, and it'll always be the day that my dad had a heart attack. Stanley Kubrick, one of my favorite filmmakers, once said, "However vast the darkness, we must supply our own light." This quote has really latched itself to my mind and has been chipping away at my thoughts for quite some time. If you were to read that quote to me about 5 years ago, I would just simply ignore it without another thought. But today, now that I've grown both mentally and emotionally, it resonates with me on a much stronger level. When my dad passed, I was thrusted into a sea of scathing darkness. I felt alone and scared, not of a person or a thing, but of my own emotions. Being sad hurts me, so why bother? If I locked my emotions away, I wouldn't need to ever feel that again. And I use this nihilistic, stoic nature as a shield against any and all emotion, which presented me as a happy and outgoing individual when it was the exact opposite. The darkness continued for a while, me being confused why. When will it go away? Why do I keep feeling this sadness? It turns out it was much deeper than just sadness. It was the ravenous monster known as grief. But either way, I was certain to not let it win. I would win by being outgoing and putting all my time into external sources of happiness, determined to never allow myself to explore these emotions. And it would work. It would have to work. March 13th, 2020, a date most students and teachers are all too aware of, a day everything stopped. A rare new disease from the east was growing. We were told to stay inside for 2 weeks, then a month, then the entire summer. Quarantine is the word that they used to describe it, but the best description would be isolation. I was by myself for 6 to 8 months, just me and my thoughts. And I had to give in. I had to actually grieve. I had to actually feel emotion. I had to examine the darkness. It started out with sad music, then crying, then anger, then worse. I was depressed, consumed by sadness. I kind of liked it, as weird as it sounds. Feeling hopeless hurts, but having no hope was peaceful. The sadness became a friend at a time when I needed one. But after a while, I came to realize I wasn't hopeless. I just stopped looking. I came to realize you need balance. You can't just keep going and going without a proper assessment of your emotions. While you also can't let your emotions consume you. You need a mixture of both. You need to find your own light in the darkness, meaning you need both darkness and light, and to live without either isn't life, it's mental autonomy. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if my dad survived that day. Would I have made it to where I am today? Would I have been farther? All those questions are in vain, though, as the only true question that matters is what's next, and that question is a true meaning of hope.